for you. And then that's when I told him that I have a bend down, and it sort of helps me replicate Sir's action a tad bit more. Because when I try to straighten it, it just doesn't go as straight. That's exactly like Sir's, which he has since birth. So yeah, with something bad, something good has come, and I'm able to portray Sir's action a bit more realistically.
Just like how the universe works, right?
Yes, absolutely. Some things are destiny. I think this film is like that for me.
Dana, we are really happy that you are here, and you and Mully sir both have had some fierce battles, right? And some extraordinary thing happening on the trees. Is there anything which happened behind the scene, maybe in the locker room, which you would like to share with the people? Some interaction, yeah.
Thank you so much. Happy is an understatement for me to be here. Anything connected to Muthiah Muralidharan, we used to call him Murli, is from the heart. Because not only he was the greatest spinner of all time, he's one of the greatest human beings you'll ever meet. Soft, gentle, kind, and always smiling. I've grown up in an era with a very strong Indian team and had some great players. But for us, Sri Lanka was Murli. And I'm saying that with due respect to everyone. Sri Lanka has produced some great players. Aravinda De Silva, Kumara Sangakkara, Mahela Jayawardene, Arjuna Ranatunga was a very good player who was a World Cup winning captain. So they've had some outstanding players. But Murli was different. As I said, you land in Colombo, you land in Sri Lanka, you go to anywhere. Everybody from the... I remember my first trip in 1997. Yes, my first trip in 1997 to Sri Lanka. And we used to go to Sri Lanka very often. Every summer we used to be there. The Taj Samudra Hotel in Colombo was just like our home for us. June, July we were there, and I loved Sri Lanka. I remember my first trip, I landed and I was going through the immigration at the Colombo airport, and there were very kind people. India was coming, and they said, all the best for the tournament, all the best for the series, have a good trip. But remember, we have Murli. and I remember the exact words. And this used to happen all the time. He was not just the backbone, every bone of the body for Sri Lanka really. And I'm so happy he's done a biopic. I've seen him on the field, I've seen him off the field, I've met his family, I've seen him in Colombo. He's unbelievable. So I know you will enjoy this film. You will get to know a lot from this film about Murli's life, because many of you have just seen Murli on television, on the ground. But what goes behind in making a great champion that he is, and hopefully you'll be able to see it on this film. As I said, I'm extremely fortunate to be here this evening on the launch of his biopic. It's a worldwide release, and everyone around the world must see it, because Murli just doesn't belong to Sri Lanka. Murli belongs to the world, belongs to the world cricket. He's an ambassador. He's an unbelievable ambassador of the sport. He's a gentle ambassador of the sport. And when you see Muralidharan, because I've followed his entire career, and I must say something, I've played the young Muralidharan, I've played the middle-aged Muralidharan, and I've played the old Muralidharan. And the hardest was the old Muralidharan. And I mean everything what I say, because I'm not saying because of his media, it's because of his biopic, but it was the hardest as he got older. He could spin the off-spin this much, he could spin the off-spin that much, he could bowl the straighter one, he could bowl the one which would go the other side. And the best thing Rahul Dravid told me, we used to bat together a lot those days. He said, how do I cover drive it? So I said, don't worry, you don't worry about the cover drive, leave the cover drive to me, you just rotate the strike with Murli. So, he's been absolutely fascinating. 800 test wickets, and he's not added the one days also. And how much in one day? Only 400?
500.
Can you imagine 540 one day wickets? 540 one day wickets, 800 test wickets. So it's 1340 international wickets for Sri Lanka. So I'm not wrong in saying that Murli meant Sri Lanka. Or it's the other way, Sri Lanka meant Murli. And he brought Sri Lanka on the map through his cricketing heroics, through his wickets. He actually was responsible for bringing Sri Lanka on the world map. Whether the wicket spun, whether you played in Colombo, whether you played in the Oval, whether you played in Melbourne, or whether you played in the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. Murli will come and pick 5 wickets and spin the ball this much, this much, this much, and this much. So that's how good he was. I wish him all the best in life. just like everybody finishes playing sport, he finished. I still remember his last wicket at his home ground, and I think he got Pragyan Oja caught at first leg. His last wicket, his last test match. I can't remember his first wicket, but I can remember his last wicket. And what a pleasure it was just knowing him. It wasn't too much fun playing him because he hardly gave anything to hit. But knowing Mutha Muralidharan, the person, is amazing. And as I said, you ask everybody around the world. You won't get a better gentleman than Mutha Muralidharan. I congratulate you on your new role. You are portraying a master on screen, and I know everybody will watch it. I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it because it's Murli. Because it's Murli, and I'm sure everybody in Calcutta will watch it because we are a cricket match city. Murli beat us in the semi-finals in 1996 in Calcutta, and if I remember, they went on to win the World Cup under Arjuna. It was a young Murli then, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. You would absolutely see a master in action. So thank you, Murli, for inviting me here, and lots of love to you, lots and lots of good wishes to you and your family and me to continue to remain with the game. Because I know you do a lot of businesses, I know you do a lot of things at the back, you have a lot of money, but don't get away from the game because the game needs Mutha Muralidharan, is humbleness, is genuinity, and most importantly, the game needs a master to be there all the time. So wish you all the very best. He's a young man. I think we are same age, 50? So we are both the same age. So we've got lots and lots to offer to the game. I know he comes for the IPL from Sunrisers Hyderabad, and I wish him all the very best in life. And we all love him.
So we just had a conversation with Murli sir a few minutes back, and we were talking about the wickets. I read that he remembers all the wickets that he had taken. He remembers the 100, the 200.
It's not true, there are some wickets I know. I can remember one inning I can't even forget in my life is him and Rahul demolishing Taunton in the World Cup '99. It was something like special batting from both of you, and both got hundreds and won easily. So that's because he's a strong player of spin bowling, and he's like, because when he was young, when I was young, he didn't give a chance to me. When I was getting old a little bit, I had a chance on him. So that's the way in the game. And I think mostly if you think about him, is because he's a specialist, because when he came into the team 96, I can remember 96 in Lords, I think he got a 100 in that. So something, a young cricketer at the time when coming and getting 100, because getting into that Indian team was so hard, and he got into it, then he made the way and become one of the most successful captain in the history of India. That's him, because he's also saying humble and everything, anything approachable. That's why whenever he says me, only if we need, I just there for him, because those era, because the cricketers like him, Anil, those 5-6 players, we had very anything in life, because we continue after cricket also our friendship. Thanks.
Okay, next question.
So somebody wants to ask a question.
Yeah, only here. You remember that match when Saurabh Ganguly hit 2 sixes in Colombo in 1997, and you said that Saurabh played better than any other player. He faced your bowling very well.
See, Saurabh used to be a very good opener, and spin-wise, he's a champion. He hit the whole any spinners out of the park. So you maybe remember only 2 sixes. He had not even 2 sixes. He had many sixes against me, not even against me. Top, I think all Indian people.
Yeah.
Alright, and before we move on to other questions, Nada, we will use this opportunity.
So I think Indian public would have cherished his batting all over his career. So he is a strong player, and not only for spin or space, anything, because he's opening back. So he has done justice to whatever the opportunity given to him.
Dada. 800 is very namak product, 800 namak product. So you think
I think it's a very difficult task. Because to get 800 test wickets, you will have to play a lot of test matches. And I don't know whether anybody at this stage will play so many amount of test matches with all the cricket that is going around. Test matches, one-day cricket, T20 cricket, leagues all around the world. And don't forget his 540 one-day wickets also. So it's total 1340 international wickets. And it will be very, very difficult to beat. You know, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible in this world, but it will take a lot of hard work to get past what nobody has achieved.
So we're going to take this moment to celebrate Molisa.
Monoji, one of your favorite World Cup innings at Taunton. Muralidharan 8 overs, 28 runs, no wickets. And then last 2 overs, 32 runs. What was the plan to handle him? And I want Murali also please say about that match. Both of them.
Yeah, we always did that, you know. We always, when we played Sri Lanka at that time, and that's why I say Murali is Sri Lanka, is that we will try and play him out. You know, keep rotating, keep putting the ball in the gaps, and then if we have a partnership at the end, we can take him on. Because you know he's such a wicket taker, he can run through any sides if you give him a bit of a sniff. So we never wanted to give him too many wickets early on. And then once we are set, obviously it becomes a little more easy. England is a little more easy because it was the first half of the summer, it was cold and the wickets did not have much spin on it. So we were as a batsman, we were in an advantageous position to Muralidharan. But his greatness is, when his team went for 370, he was still giving at 5 runs and over. I think that's where his greatness is. You know, when he bowled well, he picked 7, 8, 9, 10 wickets in a game. And when he did not bowl well, he was still the most difficult bowler to hit. And I think that's where his greatness lied. And as I said, I'm fortunate that my entire career was with Muthiah. I watched him, played him, and the respect for him is just beyond imagination.
Players play in India, it's your home turf because you have a more advantage. When you're playing in outside, the advantage is less because you have to adapt to those conditions so you can't compare those two.
World Cup semi-final this year.
See, they always have advantage because home team is advantage playing there. So England is playing well at the moment, and Australia is you can't count them out any time. But there are other teams that can dark horses are there. So if you ask anybody, even Dada, if you ask, luck is very much needed to win a World Cup. Luck makes a big part of it. Because right time, right things happen. So that always showed you in the last World Cup final. We thought New Zealand will win, but luck goes to England win. So say the World Cups, we were in '96, we were underdogs, never thought. So luck came to us so many times. So that's why we won. So we have to have a little bit of luck on to win those.
What about Sri Lanka? Because after '96, you don't win any World Cup.
Sorry about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is doing well at the moment. They came to finals, but they got beat very badly. But still, they are doing well because they got the 2020 Asia Cup. So they will be outside chances. So they might have a chance, but very difficult to say. You have a good chance of getting through.
Alright,
Murali,
play a quick rapid fire game with all the three of you. But before that,
India, they are very happy. We have been also, and I'm very fortunate being associated with this film. And of course, I'm the presenter and the buyer of the total film. And I'm not the producer. I'm a
content with Muralidharan sir on field. Now you have to be very quick.
There's too many. You have to give me a little bit
Just
of
pick
time.
the first one that comes in your head.
I think my first encounter maybe in '97 when I first played in '97 in Sri Lanka. That was my first one-day 100 and first test 100 also in Sri Lanka. And we did that in, I think I got that in the SSC ground. Luckily the wicket had a bit of grass. So
Because he played really well both series. So I think that was a drawn game and also high scoring game.
that was the series when Sri Lanka got 900 in first test against Madagaskar. And in the second test, obviously it was a close one. I got 100 in the second test, and that's when I actually played him for the first time.
I think we must clap on to this, right? We everyone should. Then next question, again, very quick. If you had to describe Murli sir in one Bengali word, what would it be?
Jadugar.
Jadugar, and exactly what?
He's a magician, you know. He would bowl from one end, just keep bowling and bowling, and Sri Lanka is a hot country, it's very hot. He would never get tired, just bowl and bowl. It was like, you know, the captain had to take the ball out of his hand. It's just like when you take a sweet out of a little boy's hand and he just tries to stop it.
And it's
It was
magic.
like Murli, one over. I used to see, because we used to wait, now Murli will get a break, now Murli will get a break, and we'll have another bowler whom we can hit. But then he would signal from fine leg and third man, one more, and then one more, and then finish.
So now Durga Puja is around the corner. So what's the best thing about Durga Puja that you feel?
Oh, it's our biggest festival. It's unbelievable actually. You need to be in Calcutta to realize what Durga Puja is. I'm sure as you're driving through the city, you must be seeing the half-constructed pandals, half illuminated areas, and by the time it comes on the 14th, which is the Mahalaya, this city will be a different city. It's a holiday. I know you talk about Christmas, I know you talk about Ganpati, you talk about the Brazilian festival or any other festival around the world. This is the biggest festival, and it's fascinating for over a period of 8 to 9 days.
Let's just suppose you had to assemble a dream cricket team, and you can add players from any era, from any team. Who would be the top 3 picks?
Murli is definitely one.
Of course.
Murli, not because I am at the release of his biopic. Murli definitely one. Sachin Tendulkar definitely the other. And the third one, I would probably go for Glenn McGrath. So these are definitely my 3 picks: a batsman, a spinner, and a fast bowler. So I think there would be a contest between Jimmy Anderson and Glenn McGrath, but on all conditions, I think Glenn McGrath would be my preferred choice. So these 3 definitely.
And so this World Cup is around the corner. So 2 Indian players who we should watch out for. Like those guys are going to come out as surprise.
India has enormous talent, and you've been watching it for the last 1.5 months. They have just peaked at the right time. It's a very powerful team, and there are so many. Rohit Sharma, the way he batted against Australia the other day. Shubman Gill is in the form of his life. Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul. There are so many of them, who could turn the game on their own. And it will be very difficult for me to point to, but I think you can watch out for Shubman Gill. You can watch out for Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli. In good batting conditions, Virat's also have started to play well after a bit of a tough period for about a couple of years. So I think these are the 2 batters who I think will be very, very good in this division.
Thank you so much, brother. You are sport, and of course,
आप लोग सब जानते हैं मुझे सर को.
Yeah.
It was just about his exploits on the field. I was not aware of the tremendous journey he's had in his life from a young child, from a minority community in a war ravaged country like Sri Lanka. तो उनकी लाइफ के जो रियल इवेंट्स थे उनके बारे में जान के काफ़ी मुझे शॉक भी हुआ और काफ़ी कुछ आई थिंक उनके एक्सपीरियंस से अचंभा होता है कि कैसे एक बंदा जो इतना डिस्क्रिमिनेशन जिन्होंने झेला है अपने लाइफ में वो फिर भी आगे जाके चैंपियन बॉलर कैसे बन गया. So
it's the entire journey that came to us.
yes, absolutely. Because I wasn't aware at all about his personal life, which I think most people are not. That's why the tagline says the untold story of
And Murli sir, we have some questions for you. You know the truth. Like that batsman was very difficult to bowl out.
Toughest opponent always in India because they are the greatest players who play spin. So I struggled a lot because in India we haven't won a match yet this match. So I was playing, so it was tough with India.
And which bowler you think can come closer to a record of 800 wickets?
See, Jimmy Anderson can because he plays for 3-4 years because in 100 odd years, so you can break the record. That's up to him how many years he's going to play.
So thank you so much. We have some kids who want you to sign.
Can I have a question? Can I have one question, please? One question. Can I have one question, please? Just one question, please. This side here. This side. May I?